You're listening to the Dre Area Sports Show, live on YouTube and X. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe.
The Dre Area Sports Show is brought to you by SeatGeek. Use promo code Dre Area Sports to save $20 on your first purchase at SeatGeek.com. And we are also brought to you by Taryn Roy, the SEO Optimizer. If you're looking to boost your YouTube channel, then check out the SEO Optimizer. Use promo code Dre Area Sports to start your free trial today. Power Brand Systems. If you're looking to build a website for your small business or YouTube channel, then check out Power Brand Systems. Use promo code 300POWER to save up to $300 on your first purchase at Power Brand Systems.
Boy, do we got a lot to cover today. Signings, schedules, Brock Purdy. Here we go. Welcome to the Dre Area Sports Show. I'm joined by my good friend, Mr. Sterling Bennett of 49ers Access Podcast. Guys, if you haven't subscribed to Sterling Bennett on YouTube or wherever you find your podcast, then you're really missing out. The guy creates amazing content daily. Might remind you. So definitely check out 49ers Access, like, share, and subscribe for the most updated 49ers content. But guys, welcome to the show. Yes, it happened. We've been talking about it for days on end. Brock Purdy has been signed to a new 5-year, $265 million deal, an extension of his contract. He is now the highest paid player in franchise history. $165 million is guaranteed. So half that money is basically coming to him within the first 3 years, which I think is kind of interesting because if you're going to get all that money in the first 3 years, what does that mean after the next 4 years? Because obviously you have this year and then 3 more. I think that leaves it open for restructuring. You know, they could do a lot of things with that. But overall, though, I am so happy that they got this contract done. I love that it's before the preseason. Sterling, what's your take on the Brock Purdy contract?
I love it. It's hard for me to say anything bad about it. Obviously, you know, you can talk about Brock Purdy's play and what he's actually worth and what the market may have dictated for him. But I think San Francisco gets a thumbs up from me. I think you get things done before OTAs. And if you're Brock Purdy, you're feeling pretty good. You go from getting, you know, what was going to be $5 million this year, 8 against the cap, I believe, to now the highest paid player in San Francisco 49er history. And from what it seems like, $7 million per year under Dak Prescott's record-breaking contract for quarterbacks. So I think it's a great deal for both sides. And ultimately, I think it's a big win for San Francisco and what they're trying to do as a team with their finances and with the future of the roster. It really puts them in a good place where everybody thought Brock's going to get 60. Then it was Brock's going to get 55 per year. And they dwindled that thing all the way down to $7 million under market value. That's what you pay front offices for. And thankfully, Brock Purdy was willing to play ball with them and not settle or not hold out for the biggest contract ever for a quarterback. Thumbs up for me on both ends by both these guys, Purdy and the front office.
No, I think this is a great contract. What's up, Aaron? Big shout out to Aaron for 49ers First Takes. I think it's a great contract, and I love that they got it done early, and they got it at a price that everyone, you know, basically everyone debated on. Is it going to be 45? Is it going to be 50? Is it going to be 55? Well, they settled at $53 million per year, which I think is fine. I think it's actually lower than what they probably had projected. I'm sure they projected something going into this. It was going to land somewhere around $55 to $60 million, but no, it's at 53. And I love the way this contract works. I think it's great. Oh, there you go, historic. It's a perfect contract for everyone. Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. And also, too, I heard a stat that based on the percentage of cap, he is the 14th highest paid quarterback based on the percentage of the team's salary cap. So that's one way to look at it, is that he's being paid as the 14th best quarterback in the league. And that's not to say that, like, oh, he's not worth that much. You know, what I'm saying is that he took less to make this contract work, not only for himself, but for the team as well. And I think this speaks highly of Brock Purdy and what his intentions were going into this contract negotiation. Sterling, do you think that this will allow the Niners more flexibility in the future, or if not later this offseason, in trying to acquire more players?
I don't know about later this offseason, but when you find out San Francisco's first offer was $49 million per year, according to Matt Mayoko, and he worked that thing up to 53. Again, it's a win on both sides. Brock Purdy gets paid a very large chunk of change, and San Francisco gets their guy. But I think where a lot of people are wrong about Brock Purdy and this contract is that all the detractors, even those in the national media and the pundits, they all say, well, the window is closed. You can't pay anybody else now. They just paid George Kittle this offseason. They're going to repay or going to pay again Fred Warner, whether it's this year or next year. They don't have too many guys they have to bring back in the next few years or so. So they don't really have to pay anybody else to return. However, I think where everyone's wrong is that this hamstrings their cap, that it just ruins what they can do financially over the course of the next, 5 or 6 seasons of his contract. Yes, it's a large chunk of change. Yes, things may get tight at times, but that's the reason why you draft well. It's the reason why you took 11 players in this year's draft class. And it's a reason why you were okay saying goodbye to a lot of, heftily paid players like Leonard Floyd and Malik Collins and Drake Greenlaw and Talanoa Hufanga. And you let, Mooney Ward leave in free agency, and we're okay not even giving guys offers to return because you knew we have to pay a quarterback a lot of money. That said, without knowing the exact breakdown of Purdy's contract and knowing the exact, the guarantees and whatnot of the deal, from the outside looking in, this feels like a contract that San Francisco is going to front load, $181 million guaranteed, $100 in the first 3 seasons or so. And they're only paying him $5 million this year, and the extension doesn't kick until next year. So they're really getting a quarterback for 6 seasons at about $45 million per year.
Yeah.
That drops him under $50 million, drops him under, that 12, quarterback range. Instead of getting paid at the 7th quarterback rank between Tua and Jared Goff, he's really getting 45 per year. I think a lot of people are wrong that Brock's overpaid or he doesn't deserve it. Brock Purdy is worth $53 million a year, and he's going to get paid, estimated over the next 6 years, 45 per season. So they're going to be fine. I don't think they're going to pay anybody or go acquire somebody this offseason, but next offseason, during the year, they can still be aggressive. They can go get a cornerback or an edge rusher or a defensive tackle. They can find somebody they like, pinpoint them and target those guys and bring those guys in for 8 weeks, a couple of years. They're going to have plenty of money to spend. And I think in 2029, so in 4 seasons, 5 seasons, when Brock Purdy's contract's almost done, guess what? TV deals are up. Boom. Cap explodes again. And this still looks like a bargain at that point in time.
I mean, when you break it down like that, where essentially, if you're counting this year, it's almost like a $45 million deal. And so I think that has to be taken into account because of how much money they're actually saving on this contract. And to me, look, this says a lot about Brock Purdy and how he perceived this contract. Did he want to have a contract that was going to be a record-breaking deal, more than Dak Prescott, more than any other starting quarterback, really gouged San Francisco and giving him as much money as possible, knowing that, look, what are your other options? Your other options are Mac Jones, or Tanner Mordecai, the quarterback they drafted in this past draft,
Curtis Rourke,
or go out and sign somebody. Like Aaron Rodgers, which is another toxic individual. So he could have done all that and probably brought in a huge contract where he gets paid $60 million. And we see other teams make the same thing where they give the player whatever they're asking for because they at this point they don't have a choice. Yeah, they got Mac Jones, but is that really the guy you want to go with? Well, I mean, he's talented, but he's not the guy you really want to go with. No, Brock took a contract that he felt was right, that worked for the team, that worked for him. And people kept saying, well, maybe he'll take a hometown or he'll take a discount. He's a man of faith. I don't think that's the case whatsoever. But I think what he did get was he got a good contract that's going to pay him and take care of him for the rest of his life. And here's the thing to remember as well. From the 2022 draft, right? He's the only quarterback who has signed an extension. He's also the only quarterback from that draft that is still on the team that drafted him. Everyone else is donezo. Even like Kenny Pickett. My God, that guy was a first-round pick. He's on like his third or fourth team already.
Yeah, third team.
I think Skylar Thompson got cut, or he's not with the Dolphins anymore because he got taken ahead of him. Howell, he's not with the Redskins anymore. Or sorry, the Commanders. So
I think now he's in Minnesota.
I think he's in Minnesota or
third team as well.
Something like that. And so it goes to show you that, look, is the NFL draft a crapshoot? Yes, it is. But they struck gold when it came to Brock Purdy being the last freaking pick in the draft. The only thing worse than or lower than that would have been if he was an undrafted free agent, which he probably could have been if they didn't take him, obviously. But when you look at, since Brock Purdy has taken over, these are phenomenal stats brought to you by PFF. He has a 63.6 completion rate. That's second in the NFL. This is since he's taken over as our starting quarterback. He's averaging 12.5 yards per attempt. That's first in the NFL. The guy's averaging more than a first down. He's averaging he's compiled 5,638 passing yards, which is second in the NFL. And he's got a 125.1 passer rating, which is second in the NFL. All of this once he took over as the starting quarterback.
Well, so let me ask you this. What are the expectations now for a player like Brock Purdy? Because everybody would rightfully say, win a Super Bowl. But I don't know if that constitutes this contract being successful. Because when I think about, what makes Jared Goff so successful, like Lions fans aren't saying, wow, Jared Goff sucks. They're saying, oh man, how can we get better still, right? Philadelphia won a Super Bowl last year. Mm-hmm. Even in their down season, they weren't saying Jalen Hurts sucks. They were like, hey, how do we get better? And, Jalen Hurts wasn't the exact reason they won or lost either one of their Super Bowls. He was great again in the one they lost, and their defense was a big reason as to why they beat Kansas City last year. And Jared Goff at times has been the reason why the Lions have faltered, mainly against San Francisco in the playoffs. But I'm trying to I've been swaying back and forth of yes, if they don't win a Super Bowl, this is not a successful contract, but hyper-focused on Brock, kind of zoomed in on him. If he's out there, you're getting 4,000 yards a year, throwing for 27 plus touchdowns, under 10 interceptions. They're winning 10 plus games a season, and he's being a bigger or one of the big reasons as to why they're winning football games. That's a really successful contract for a player that you're paying under market value for. That needs to be constantly reminded to fans. You are paying under market value for a quarterback, more successful than most of the quarterbacks ahead of him, getting more money. That does not happen unless that player is willing to play ball, knows his strengths, knows his weaknesses, and is open to this team having more financial flexibility in the future to surround him with continual great talent to hopefully expand this window they're currently in.
Thank you for watching this video. If you want more of this content, then check out some of these recommended videos right here on your screen. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And if you want to support the channel, you can do so by going to my website, which is nicotina.net, and there are memberships available under Dre Area Sports.